What's going on, guys? I wanted to make this quick little video. Forgive me, this is the first time I've ever done a screen mirroring type video, but I think this video is going to add some value, especially to the new guys out there, the guys that can't figure out why they're not making money. A while back, I took a class that really opened my eyes to why I wasn't making as much at the end of the year as I thought going through the year. One thing I learned is I wasn't keeping up with my daily costs, my overhead. And there is a difference between a job material cost and an overhead cost. What your overhead has nothing to do with your job, whatever job you're doing. If you're spending $5,000 in asphalt and $300 on fuel and excess stuff for this particular job, that's a job cost. Your overhead cost is what it takes to run your company. If you didn't work one day out of a month, how much is it going to cost you to keep your lights on your business? So this is what this is for, and I wanted to show you a little worksheet that I created a little while back, and this is far from perfect. This year has been the year of creating templates, and because of these, I know every dollar that goes out of my company and every dollar that comes in, where it goes, what I'm paying a day, a week, a month, a year for labor, for overhead, everything overhead. So I wanted to take a minute, create this quick little video, and I wanted to show you something that I think would really help you guys out with moving forward. So let's take a look at this. So these are just going to be some numbers we throw out there. Whatever your numbers are is what your numbers are. But let's start with the salesperson. If you have a salesperson, that salesperson comes off of salary only. Say you're paying them $25 an hour, $1,000 a week. Say you're giving them a fuel allowance of $500 a month, a vehicle allowance of $500 a month. This will break down the total yearly salary of your salesperson. Total yearly allowance, $12,000 plus the $52,000 a year that they make equals $64,000 a year. You can adjust those numbers any way you want and also with the rest of it. If you have a human resource person, they make $15 an hour. Say you give them $150 a month allowance for a cell phone or whatever the case is. You have a billing department. Say you have somebody in there, they're making $15 an hour as well. And an assistant that's just for the filing and all that stuff, they make $8.50 or $10 or whatever you want to put. So this is your overhead salary. This is, even if you do not work a day, this is what you have to pay a year, no matter what. $399.67 a day. $145,000 a year is your payroll. Don't matter if you work, don't matter anything. This is what you'll pay no matter what. So this is part of your overhead hourly payroll. You move down here to your field workers. Say you have a foreman, they make $30 an hour. Your lead guy makes $25. Equipment operator, say he makes $20, and your hands make $15. Again, I'm putting numbers in here just so you guys get an understanding. You can fill this in with whatever in the hell numbers you put, but as long as you understand what your numbers are, that's the most important, and hopefully that's what you're going to get out of this. So total yearly field operations is $218,400 a year. Your combination between your admin and your field workers, $364,280. This number, you should be billing your customers at least 2,080 hours a year. That's 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year for your people. If you're billing that and you're making this, then you're winning. You're coming out ahead. Let's move over to your monthly overhead costs. This is another thing that's important, because a lot of people, and they message me all the time and they say, well, I'm making 40% profit, and but yet they don't take an account of what it costs to keep their lights on. If you're working from home, those bills are part of your business. No matter if it's a portion, all of them, whatever the cost is, it costs a certain amount of money to operate your business. Whether you're working or not, it costs a certain amount of money to operate your business. So we'll just throw in a couple numbers here. This is my internet. Say we pay $100 a month for internet, waste disposal, electricity, rent. If you're renting a storage facility to keep your stuff in, an office building, whatever the case is, cell phone bills, any kind of operations expense that you have, insurance, whatever the case is. If you have any bank loans, I personally put this in here. It's kind of falls under a fixed asset depending on what it is, but we have monthly bills that we got to pay the bank. So I put it in here as what I got to charge a company or my customers to help pay for that overhead as well. It's kind of a double dip thing, but it's a way to, keep ahead of the scale. So throwing a couple numbers there. Your insurances, what do you pay a month for your insurance? General liability, depending on what you pay. Get with your insurance people, get your numbers for these. Workman's comp, your umbrella insurances, if you have any. Vehicle insurance. We personally have 2 different agents for different levels of between my work trucks and my small truck sales vehicles. I get a better rate going through somebody else, so we'll just add these in here. Lawyer fees. What do you pay a month for your lawyer? Personally, I try to keep about $400 to $500 a month to pay lawyers. That way, if something happens, at the end of the year, I'll have about $4,000, $5,000 put down on my lawyer. Sometimes I got to pay more, sometimes it's less. It just depends, but it's always good to keep a lawyer in your pocket. CPA, how much a month do you pay? My CPA handles all my taxes, most of the bookkeeping, stuff like that. So on average, we pay about $4,000 a month or a year for CPA. Any office supplies that you buy, we do a monthly office food purchase, which is 100% written off. This is part of office supplies. So say you spend $200 a month for your admins to have water and Gatorade and snacks and stuff like that. Office materials, could be toner for your printer, paper, staples, rulers, pencils, paper, pens, anything. Say on average you spend $200 a month. These are just some low numbers I'm throwing out there. Clothing. Do you guys wear uniforms? Do you buy t-shirts with your logos on it? Do you have to buy work boots? Do you buy regular boots to go out and bid prices, go shake hands, go to meetings? Do you have to have a suit? Do you wear collared shirts? I mean, all these things you got to add in. If you're just taking it out of your profit, then you're not profiting what you're taking out of your profit account. You're profiting less. Profit is how much money are you putting in the bank at the end of the year and you don't even have to touch. That's what a profit is. So that's why you got to keep your overhead numbers on lock so you know exactly what your profit is. Clothing. So say you spend $100 a month on clothing. Advertising, whether you run ads in the paper, Facebook ads, whether you do Google Word or simple things, creating banners, sponsoring teams. We spend a lot of money a year doing this for our community. So say we spend $500 a month on advertising, which is still a low cost. Any fuel that you spend outside of your jobs, whether it's to drive your vehicle to and from your salesperson, however much you compensate your salesperson, there you go. So just a low number there. And these numbers are what is so important. This is the last part of it. So what it costs, our daily cost is $123,000 a year to keep my lights on. That's rent, that's everything. That's how much it costs me to operate, or whatever these numbers are. That's whatever this number is right here. That's how much it costs you a year to run your company, which means it's $338.79 a day. Your total administration pay, $400 a day, $145,000 a year. Your total overhead. This is your overhead. you're paying $269,000, $540 a year to run your business. So if you say you're profiting $300,000, but you don't have this added in, you're not profiting $300,000. You're profiting $300,000 minus $269,540. You're profiting $30,000 a year. So you're not making the money that you think you are. That's how much money that you're putting into your account, which is not 30% of whatever it is that you made that year. So this is how much you should be charging a day when you work. Don't ask me how you figure out. This is, you have to work 365 days a year to make this. So, if you work 6 months, but it still costs you $269,000 to run your company, you might want to double this, charge $1,400 a day, and work 6 months out of the year. However you figure these numbers, or however you get paid for this, you have to know what this number is in order to keep your lights on in the year. After you figure that out, you charge your customers that cost, and then you will get a true profit number, but only until you figure out what your overhead cost is. This is a very important number to run a business. I hope it helps. I hope it was informational. If not, oh well. If it was, send me a like or something.